Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Rus Bas Mordechai. Everybody knows that Rabbi Wolfson, who was just nifter last week, he composed Moshiv. But what they don't know is that he also composed Limana. Okay, we just sang it. I was fortunate to be able to attend the Shir in person 3 times during my last visit to RBS for my grandson's bris. I need to tell you what a great feeling it is to walk into the headquarters and sit among the familiar faces that have become like family to me over the past 2 years. There's nothing like the Shir in person, unedited and clearly genuine. I highly recommend all those in Chutz La'aretz to grab the opportunity to go there for a Shir when there's Israel. Thank you all, the Chevra at the Shir, for your warm welcome and making me feel at home. Can't wait to get back to RBS soon. Izzy Bachner. This is in Hebrew, but I like this because I said it a number of times. Baruch shekivanti Maran. What's a great Segula? To learn Torah in your own house. Every night take a sefer. Anything you can understand. Point is, learning at home, I mean, this is obviously coming to the Beis Medrash, but learning at home versus learning in a Beis Medrash, learning in your Chavrus's home. Show your kids that you're learning. Big Segula. This is somebody waiting to get into the Trump rally, doing the daf. Oh, MAGA hats. Boker Tov. My daughter Leora got engaged last night to Dvir Levi from Ishtal, and my son Yonah Zechron Levracha played a good part of the Shadchan. He, I guess, meaning the Chassan, just left for Gaza to finish his training. Can you and the Shir please have in my mind during the daf today, Dvir ben Shalom Alevi? Thank you, Yitzi Selengot Yad Binyamin. Okay, well, have in mind. We had last night, a guy that comes very often to the Hebrew Shir. And I saw he's a little shooken up. I asked him, he's a guy that, he's an older fellow, he's in Miluim. And his job was to take out the injured and the dead. So I thought he's more of a, strong kind of character. And he got injured in his eye in Gaza. And so I was speaking to him in Shir, and I asked him a few questions, and the Olam they clapped their hands for him. When they clapped their hands, he went like this. He told me afterwards he has, what is it called, PTSD, and the noise, like he started shaking, he went like this. I had a little bit of a conversation with him last night. It's unbelievable. He said, no, even though he's a strong person, but then everything comes back, and he's still in there. He still goes. He has to go back. Moshe Handler, this is a picture of me with you in the sukkah. I did 3 shurim some nights after 3-day Yom Tov. Can you include this in the daily planner? My birthday is 8 Tammuz. Regards to my dearest buddy, Nachman Seltzer. You know the guy? Everybody knows him. By the way, I've been doing Shnai Mikrach Targum and Rashi too for years. Can't wait to dance it up with you. Gevaldik. Where's he from? Flatbush. The Masechta, for the safe and speedy return of all the hostages. Parnassa Chodesh Nishmat Zechariah ben Moshe Nishmat Chaya Bas Yosef. Parnassa Chodesh, health and strength for Rav Eli. Parnassa Chodesh, the Lack family, Lakewood, New Jersey, because Torah is the best Sgula. Parnassa Chodesh Yosef ben Chaya Sara for Parnassa Bereva Chomein. Parnassa Refuah Golden Double Lord, Fishel and Family. In honor, my favorite Shvigger, Miss Raiselle Snow of Detroit, joining the great grandmother's club. May she earn her entry many times over till 120. Parnas Hayoim. L'ilui nishmas Mori, Rav Neftalli, Ben Ytzchak, Aiyzik, Zechron Levracha, Parnassa Hayom Kidnovations. As we're Refuah Shelaima for Feiga Bas Golda, my mother-in-law is having surgery today. An original childhood and lifelong friend of Rus Bas Mordechai. In other words, my mother's friend. From Mattapan and on, through Lubavitcher School. My mother went to Lubavitch in Boston. And life's many journeys. Refuah Shelaima, the anonymous from Lakewood, the anonymous from Lakewood, in honor of the marriage of Ruchama Bela Fishel to Avrami Rodman. Mazel Tov. Last night was the chasana of my chavrusa, Rabbi Yedidya Kramer. You went? Aviezer, you did by the chuppah. Arnov, in memory of my aunt Chaya bat Miriam and my grandmother Freda bat Mazal. Out of the mother for Chus for Rav Eli and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah enjoyable for so many. So we have a little bit of a riddle. Somebody owed someone $100,000, and he got a phone call that the guy is about to die. Why did this guy that owes $100,000 get into his car? Why did this guy with the $100,000 loan get in his car and drive really, really quickly to the guy that's dying to pay it off? Hold on, not people that learned the daf. I know that you learned it before. Who else?
He's the Bechor.
Yeah, so
he gets double.
Double what?
The father has the money, so when his father dies, he gets double.
Very nice. Last night we had a guy that answered it without hearing from somebody else. That was Noam Fix's son. And I asked him, I said, how do you know it? He goes, because I'm a Bechor. I think about these things.
He's just waiting.
Did you lend the money? Did you lend the money? You lent the money?
I'm not going through anymore.
Did he ask you how much money you made on your Sregan business this year? Here's a very interesting shayla. I was surprised. I mean, when you hear it, you're going to say, yeah, it makes sense. But if a woman has her own bank account, she has her own money that the husband doesn't have anything to do with. She came into the marriage with money, and she lends money to somebody. So typically speaking, if she dies before the husband will inherit her. What if she lent money to somebody and she dies? Is it like a bachar that we say, Roy, not Roy, it's a loan? What goes on? Then the guy comes and pays back during Shiva, he pays back the loan. Does the husband inherit it? Or perhaps the woman's Yarshim, her other children inherit it? What do you say? Children? Who said children? Why children? Huh? No, the husband inherits a wife. A husband inherits a wife. So why should a loan go?
The money wasn't there at that time.
The money wasn't there. That's called Roy. Roy.
So
is there a problem with Roy with the husband? I guess I'm asking. Does a problem inherit Roy? Does the husband inherit Roy or not?
That's what you seem to be saying. No.
I didn't say anything. I asked the question. Oh, you see, because I said it. I found it interesting. Yes, the Gemara says a husband does not inherit Roy. So if the wife lent money and then she died, and then the guy returned the money, $10 million, the husband does not get one penny of that $10 million.
Is there enough commitment if the loan was before they were married or once they were? Is there enough commitment whether the loan was made
No.
before they were married?
No, because any loan is called Ro'i. As we're going to see, we pass it like that. I mean, that's a little bit of our sugya today. So let's see. We're holding on Daf Kuf Chav Dalet Amud Beis, 7 lines from the bottom. Omalei Ravacha Barav L'Ravin. Right? I found it fascinating. I'm the husband. Hello? No, it's a loan. Omalei Ravacha Barav L'Ravina. So Rav Acha Barav tells Ravina. Ikla Meimar Amir went la'asrin to our place with Dorish and he gave a drosha. Meimar made a drosha. So what? Bechar noitel pishnayim b'milva avol loy beribis. So this is what we had yesterday. I changed it up slightly. Rabbi says when it comes to a loan, a bechar takes 2 parts of the returned loan, even though it was returned after the death of his father. That's Rabbi. We are going to paskin like this, that a bechar does not take 2 parts of a loan. And then we had another svara in Chachamim yesterday, that we can make some sort of pshara. The keren, the bechar takes 2 parts, not in the interest. Compromise. So Meimer says like the compromise. We're going to see, we paskin like the center one. Bechar does not take biroi, and that a milva is considered ra'ui. alone is Rawi, and he doesn't take. But before we get there, and that's all the way at the end of the daf today. Why? Because Chachamim hold that the keren, the principal, the father is considered a muhzak. Whatever is owed to him, he has it, it's his. It's out there, it's floating somewhere, but it's his. Not in the ribis, not in the interest. Everybody that comes from Narda, they hold the same thing. As we're going to see, one more Nahardayan called Rav Nachman says exactly like you. Dama Rabba. Now we have two shitas that are very, very similar, just a little different. They're both going to say that in this svara, that a bechar takes two parts, it's true, but let's limit it. One limits it to real estate, and the other one limits it to cash. The one that limits it to real estate, not cash, and the one that says cash, not real estate. But they kind of agree that the bechar takes two parts. Domer Rabba Govu Karka Yeshloi. Karka, real estate is there. It's something that you could put your finger on. It's as if the father held on to it. Why? It's meshubad. There's a certain shiabud of a karka, the real estate, there's a lien, the father lent money. He lent the guy $1 million cash. He has a lien of $1 million on the guy's real estate. So we could view it as if this real estate was the father's while he was alive. Now he died. So okay, the part takes two parts. What?
It's like a principal. It's kilo collected already.
Kilo collected already, says Rabbi. It's like a prusbal. It's kilo collected already. Okay? Same kind of logic. Gavumais ain't like. But what about money? No. Money is very different. Why? I lent you this $1 million. It's a different $1 million. Like my maisa I had where I was doing catering in Midwest Conference Center, and every night after the chassan I would get phone calls. Somebody stole this, somebody stole that. They stole from the kala, usually from the kala's room. They had 2 dressing rooms for the kala for the day of, and usually gold went missing. There's one woman that came in from New York to sell jewelry, and they stole her whole bag of jewelry. Oh, they didn't know what to do. So basically, I set up a trap and I put a camera, and literally on camera, me, my wife, and the manager of the building, we were watching. We see one of our employees goes to this suitcase that I planted there, underneath the camera, unzipped it within seconds, without even opening up the whole suitcase. I don't know how she did it. She just stuck her head and pulled out the cash and walked away. I'm running from the office to catch her. I catch her. So come with me. So meanwhile, all of a sudden, her mother, who also works for us, comes out of nowhere and she says, "What are you doing to my daughter?" The daughter stole. No, she didn't. The whole thing. And she says, "I'm willing. Search me." So I leave the room. My wife and the manager, they search her. They could not find the money. So I show her the video. No. And then I showed her something very interesting. I showed her a picture of the money I put in with all the serial numbers of the money. That shook her up. So she said, "I don't have it. I gave it to my mother." And her mother gave me the money. I said, "Okay, now you'll either be deported to Mexico or you're going to return everything you stole all the other days." So she went home, and we had her mother. She was hostage, I think. The actual Ghana was hostage. The mother went home and brought back a box of loot, a box. Things that we didn't even know was stolen. All the jewelry is back, all the cell phones, everything, the whole box. All because I had the serial. Well, obviously I was going to get it anyway, but the serial numbers, mamish. What? You have the numbers of the money. I can't even say it's my money. Money. I gave this money with these serial numbers, and now you're returning different money. It's different. Milva lights on it, no. Milva lights on it, and it's not the same money. The famous mice, I like to say it once in a while, whether it's true or not, I don't know, but it's a good mice. So there's a guy, his business was faltering, he wasn't doing well. He's sitting on a bench, really depressed, and this guy sits down next to him and says, "What's going on?" He says, "I have a major problem in business. It's not going well." So he says, "Listen, I'll give you a check for $1 million. I'll lend you the money. In a year from now, you have to return I'm right around here. You come over here, you'll find me. But look, if you don't need it, don't use it. But I wanna give you some backing. Who was this guy? Warren Buffett. Imam had the mazel of bumping into Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett gave him $1 million. So the guy was all mechuzik. He went back and he started this and that. He knocked away. He didn't even cash the check. But he wanted to say yishkoyach to this guy. So he's looking for him, and he described the guy to the people there. He says, that guy's a known meshugana. He's not a Warren Buffett. He goes around to people once he writes checks for $1 million to everybody. But what happened was, he wrote him the check. It pumped him up. He gave him it because it's in here. The business is up here. He thought he had the backing. He had this. Warren Buffett is backing me. So he went and he made good business. Hakol panim vayfen. Karka nami lav hok karka shova gavuin. No, just the milva leitzon. No, the check is to be cashed, but you don't always have to cash the check. It's in the head. The lav hani moy shova gavuin. That's the Gemara. So sorry. So where are we? Vir Nachman Omar. I just jumped over there. Vir Nachman Omar govu mois yeshloi. Govu karka einloi. So Rav Nachman says very similar to Rabba, but the opposite. And he says exactly like a Meimar, because they both come from Nardoi, that if the loan was paid back in cash, the Bechar gets 2 parts. If it was paid back in real estate, he does not get 2 parts. Why? Says Rav Nachman, I lent you $1 million, he gave me back $1 million. That's the same $1 million that my father gave you. So I get two parts. If the father lent $1 million and gave him back an apartment somewhere, that's not what my father lent him. Why should the Bechar be entitled to 2 parts? That's roi, that's potential. He doesn't get 2 parts. You see that it's very similar. They're saying very similar. They're both saying that there's something out there that the Bechar gets 2 parts. The argument is, what is it? Is it karka or is it money? I have a question on both of you. Both of you don't make any sense. Why are you telling me if the loan was returned with money, you don't get 2 parts? No, this is not the same serial numbers. I gave you $1 million, you returned a different $1 million. The guy gave $1 million and you're returning an apartment. How's that the same thing? Why would you get 2 parts? Your father wasn't a muhzak in that apartment. You said in the story we're going to have an Amud Beis, Gevaldika story. Let's call it a Bava Basra. The Kodem Safta, the story of the Safta of the grandmother. If the grandmother sells her property, it's a great sale. So you see that over here in our case, the father, the person that's owed money, doesn't own the land. So here's what it looks like. No, not this one, sorry. Let me go to the grandmother for a second. I'm not sure if it's this one or that one, but we'll try it. There was a grandmother, and she had a grandson that's dying, deathly ill. He's on his deathbed. He's a shchimera, and he said that he would like his house, his Yerusha, to go to his grandmother. Thing is that he had a daughter. The daughter is young. She doesn't need a house right now. The grandmother brought him up. He has a lot of curse type to the grandmother. She's also not very young. What? It's that's the name here. Torah means he's donating the house to his grandmother. It's a gift. It's more because the Yerusha should really go to his daughter. He's doing a gift to his grandmother. But it's an interesting gift. It's a temporary gift. You're allowed to do any tnai you want when it comes to gift. So let's say his grandmother's 95 years old. He figures, how long is she going to live? Right? 10 years. Let her live peacefully in a nice mansion. He gives her the mansion until she dies. Me'ev Esrim, it goes down to the daughter. Thing is, the daughter got married. Another very terrible thing happened. That the daughter, so he gives the house to the daughter. The grandmother. Let's go to the other one. I like the other one. The other one is more our sugya. She gets married. Okay, here we are. So now he gives the house to the grandmother. The grandmother sells the house. And the daughter dies. Then the grandmother dies. So the husband of the daughter, all the way on the bottom, is married. He says, wait a minute. My wife, Zechariah Levracha, was supposed to inherit this house after the grandmother died. She's not around. I want to inherit the house. Does he have a taina or not?
Was she allowed to sell it?
Oh. So that's basically the sugya, and that's basically the raya. When a Torah, when a father gives the house to the grandmother, who owns the house? The grandmother or the daughter? Again, the father, the guy in the middle, gives the house to the grandmother, says you can live there for 15 years, 10 years until you pass away. I'm making a condition, once you pass away, it goes to my daughter. Who owns the physical house? Who's the bailam on the gufa karka? How do we view it? Huh? The daughter or the grandmother? The father's dead. Father's dead. He dies. He's on oxygen. He's dead. We should really put him sideways. I don't know. Could you put him sideways, Gershon? Just for... Now he has to go sideways. He's not alive. No, the house. Forget that it was sold. If the house wasn't sold, the grandmother's living in the house. Does she have a right to sell it? Or because after she dies, it goes down to the daughter. So what the father really did was he says, listen, the house I'm giving to my daughter. I'm giving you the right of usage for the next 10 years. Huh? What do you say? It's the right to? No right to sell. What are you saying, Rabbi Kormel?
The goof of the bite is different from the dummy from the value.
No, so who owns the goof?
The grandmother.
The grandmother. You're saying the grandmother.
It's a matana tonight.
It's a matana tonight. So that's the question. Could the grandmother sell the house? If the goof is owned by the grandmother, she could sell the house. If not, okay. So that's what we're gonna see. It's not so pasha. Not so pasha. So even though the Gemara says, even though the daughter stands to inherit the house, she tells all her friends in school, she says, I have a big mansion that's coming to me, I'm just waiting for my grandmother to pass on. The daughter, according to this Manda Omar, doesn't have anything to do with it, like you were saying. I'm not sure you're right, but at least this Manda Omar says that the grandmother has the ability to sell it. So if the grandmother has the ability to sell it, who's the bailam? The grandmother. The daughter has zero bailas over here. What does it negate to us? If you have a piece of karka that's about to be given to the father to pay up a loan, it's ishkoyach, about to means that the guy that owns it could sell to somebody else. Obviously, if he wants to sell, he could sell it. Because it's right to be yours. Ishkoyach, right, that's the bachar doesn't get two portions. If it's 100% going to you, so you're the bailam. Over here you see something that really, the father said it should go to the daughter. There's a really strong chance. What grandmother does business, starts selling mansions, this, that? She wants to live there peacefully. She knows she has a granddaughter. No, it's not. We don't view it as the daughters at all.
Why can't we say Zvini means it's a sale, but it's still shubad?
You can't. What? Take it away from the lekeach one day?
No different than
I wouldn't. I would either or. I don't think there's such a thing. If she has the right to sell and find the lekeach, then that's it. You don't have a right to sell. You're right. I would say like you. I'd say you have the right to rent it to the guy. You're right.
the sale is
What? Not sale.
So long
means it's a proper sale.
Yeah, but not. I would say you're allowed to sell your rights, not the house. You're allowed to sell. I have the right to live there, rent free. I don't have the right to sell it. Yeah, called nation moment kind. Huh?
Why doesn't she just owe the money that she got for the house when she sold it? She got $1 million.
No, if it's not a sale, it's not a sale. You don't have a right to. I can't go. Could I sell your house and owe you the money? I can't sell your house. It's yours. Is it the grandmothers or it's the granddaughters? I just want to know, yes or no, which one is it? But all the Gemara is trying to say is that the granddaughter has zero here, just because one day she might be able to yarshin it. Similar, I don't think it's very nagea, but stam, it reminded me of this idea that, let's say you know that somebody's about to throw something out. It happens here in Israel with oranges and all sorts of produce. They have way too much, and so in order to keep the market, maybe they throw a lot into the ocean. Am I allowed to go and take some of that? You have it by Noach. Noach, it had to be his food that he brought into the table. But the world is going to be destroyed in a few weeks. So why can't I just come to your tree and take it? It's anyway going to be destroyed. Anyway, it could be mine in the future. It could. But right now, it's not. Right now, not. So you don't make svaras like that. We're going to see different svaras soon to the same thing.
There's not focus of Avram and his nephew grazing the field.
Right, the what?
Lot said,
Oh, it's going to be my land.
yeah.
Okay, but right now, not. Oh yeah, sorry. So we'll see it inside. The Kodem Safta, Zavina, you see that a grandmother could jump and sell the house, so it's not considered the daughters. And the Rav Nachman Kashya, Rav Nachman said that when it comes to real estate, the Bechor gets two parts. I'm sorry, he doesn't get two parts. Maishna Karka Deloi, Delava Karka Shavak Avoid. What was his logic? Because that's not the father gave a loan of $1 million, not real estate. So why should he get two parts of the real estate? Mois Nami. So but money that he returned $1 million, he should get two parts of the $1 million. Mois Nami Lavhane Mois Shavak Avoid. It's not the same money. If you're talking about the same, the money that he borrowed is a different money than he returned. Void. Omer Rav Nachman, Omer Rav Refuah. This Geschmack. Yisoymim shegovu karka b'choyves aviem. Bal choyv choyzer v'goyva. What does it say here? Mehen. So we know that if Yisoymim inherit $1 million in cash, they don't pay the father's loans. If they inherit property, they have to pay the father's loan. What if they took the $1 million and bought property? Nobody would say that they would have to pay the loan. They inherited cash. They bought property. It's over. Finished. Bye-bye. The father owed money. Shalom Yisrael. So check this out. Here's the story. You have a father who borrowed money. Big tzaddik, instead of paying back his loan, goes and lends money to somebody. It might have been before. I don't know. Now, the father dies. He goes into the cemetery. The loiva wants to pay back the father. So he takes a piece of property. After the father died, he takes a piece of property and he gives it to the Yisoymim. The halacha is, who said that? The halacha is that the Yisoymim must take that piece of property and pay off the father's loan. Even though that at the time of death, they didn't have anything. They didn't have any money. Right? If they have cash as a Yerusha, they don't have to pay the loan. If they have nothing as a Yerusha, they don't have to pay the loan. And over here they had zero. But a loiva came after the Shiva and gave them a piece of property. Here, take this apartment for the loan. They must take the apartment and give it to the Malva. So the Gemara wants the Taina. What's the Pshat? The Pshat is that the father, when he was alive, he owned that property. It was Meshubah to the father. It's mamish like it was the father's. So if it's mamish like the father's, then the Bechar should get two pieces. Why? Because it's as if the father really owned it. The Rav Nachman is considering this karka like it's as if it was the father's when he was alive. And that's why the Yisoymim have to take that karka and give it over to the Malva. So in our case also, when Yisoymim inherit, later on, after the father's death, they inherit a piece of real estate. It's not like the real estate appeared today. It's something that the father owned beforehand. That's how you have to view it, l'chayra. Huh?
You paid back the estate.
Yeah. Yeah, when they paid back, in this case it's Gova Karka. Yeah, when the real estate comes back, it's as if the father already had his hand on it beforehand. So we have all these kashas on Rabbi and Rav Nachman, and they get out of it very nicely. They say as follows. I'll tell you a maisa, then you'll understand. This first we could start with a different story, the famous maisa where a guy was collecting money in New York, and he was schmoozing with his fellow collectors, and one of the collectors said, I just went to Pliny, the very wealthy guy, and he asked me this bomb kasha on Cheskes Sabatim, and I had no clue. So the guy says, what was the kasha? He says, okay. He runs to the Beis Medrash, and he learns up the whole daf. He learned it really well. He knew it inside out. He knows all the kashas, all the tirutzim. He saw all the achronim talk about this guy's kasha. Great. And then he goes and knocks on the wealthy guy's door. The guy says, listen, if you can answer this, I have a big kasha in Cheskes Abatim. He tells him the kasha, and in a second he says, what are you talking about? The Refuah, the this, the that. The guy was so impressed, wrote a huge check. And they paskined that it was what? Siyad Shemaya. Why remembers everything? She would have nothing. Siyad Shemaya. He's on a check. Unless he was here last night. Were you at cheer last night? I didn't even say it last night. So anyways, so I know I say this all the time. So Siyad Shemaya, he didn't steal. Anyway, this is another story. A bacher goes to get a feher in yeshiva, and he knows that the yeshiva, they just learned this masechta that he's going to get a feher on. He looks up on YouTube, he finds the yeshiva shiurim. He's going to get a feher on these 3 daf. He's prepared. So what does he do? He listens to all the yeshiva shiurim. He is now fluent in the yeshiva shiurim. He comes to the feher, and sure enough, the yeshiva asks him a bomb kasha. So the bacher thinks for a second. He says, maybe he could say this and this and that. Literally what the Rishiva answered in the Shir Klali. So Rishiva says, shtusim ma'avon what you're saying. Mamish. Who says such dumb svaras? So he looks at the Rishiva and says, you said it in your Shir Klali. He says, listen. I'm a Rosh Yeshiva. I have to say a Shir Klali. So sometimes I say shtusim in my Shir Klali. But I'm asking you a kasha, you have to answer legit. What's wrong with you? Anyway, so listen to what they say. Amar lei, loyli didi kasha, v'loyli Rav Nachman kasha. This kasha is not a good kasha. All your kasha is not kasha. Time edim marava kamrinon, v'lon leisvirlon. Rav Nachman and Rabbi say, we don't hold like this. We hold like the center shita. A bachar doesn't get anything. Zero. We're just trying to explain. You want to say that the bachar does get. You hold like the shita on the right, on the left. You hold that you get a little bit of the keren. Keren shita. Let me explain you that you can't be talking about money. You could only be talking about real estate. I don't hold anything. According to me, you get zero. A bachar gets no extra part of anything that comes in after the father's death. But you that hold that a bachar does get 2 parts, I must be forced to explain you only in a situation of getting real estate. And Rabbi said, and Rav Nachman says, no, only in a situation when you get cash. But I don't hold of it. It's not a good svara what you're saying. We never talk like that. These are svaras that we leave for other people. I'm being nice. I'm trying to help you out and explain your svara. We don't hold like that. Okay, it needs a little bit of explanation. I'll go upon him. So what happens? If there's money, you get 2 parts. What? No. What about real estate? They don't like real estate here? They like it. Okay, we'll see. Now, what is going on over here? So what's going on over here, like YY said. Again, let's look at this for 1 second. We had a father. Listen to this. The father borrowed money. The father lent money. The one he lent to on the right pays back. Then the father dies. So the one on the right pays back the Yisayimim with real estate. So the Gemara wants to prove from here that since the father, it's as if he was grabbing onto that property before he died, and the loiva paid it back. So in Mela, it's as if he left the Yisayimim karka, and they have to take that karka and pay the malva. Says Gemara, no. There's something called Shibud de Reb Nasan. It's not because the father held onto the karka. It's because when the malva, the guy on the left, borrows money from the guy in the middle, and then the malva lends money to the loiva. So rather than the guy on the right paying back the guy on the left, pay the guy in the middle directly. It's Shibud de Reb Nasan. That's when all those people, I like to mention it, I'm not going to show you the chart. A lot of people left the shir and a lot of people joined the shir because of that. I had a chart showing chol. We could just say it about pen. You can look it up somewhere. I don't know where it is.
Might flash on the screen.
So then I don't have to say it. People like Mendy left the shir. When I showed that, what is it? The chol. Why eat the chol and go to the bathroom? Pour the chol directly in the bathroom. Right. Again, what happened was the guy in the center, we had a whole chabura in Gateshead and they left the shir. They got up and they left. At least they sent the email that they left. They came back afterwards. What?
How many people joined because of that?
A lot of interesting people joined because of that. Anyway, so since then, again, the guy in the middle lent money to the guy on the left. The guy on the left lent money to the guy on the right. So rather than the guy on the right wasting time paying the guy in the yellow, the guy on the left, he pays directly to the first. Shibud the Reb Nosson. So Mela, that's what's going on over here. You missed the boat. Over here, the father borrowed money. He borrowed money from somebody. Then he lent money to somebody. So instead of the guy that he lent money to giving the property to the father or to the Isaimim, give it directly to that guy. It's a Shibud Reb Nosson thing going on over here. Not that the father owned it. Anyway, what do you see from here? So Rav Nachman learned from the Safta thing that at the end of the day, the karka that the grandmother should be giving over to her granddaughter after 120, we don't view the granddaughter as if she's makzik the karka. But Rabbi says no. Since it's about to go to the granddaughter eventually, in 10 years, so we view the granddaughter as if she's holding on to the karka. There is a certain muchzakus on this karka. Now, my safta, what is this? What's the whole story of the safta? Says the Gemara, Dahuda Amarlo, Nechosai l'safta ubasra liyorsi. The guy said, I want to give my property to my safta. As I'm learning this, I'm thinking to myself, what kind of guy is this? This guy is not a nice guy. He has a daughter. What is he? I'm thinking, wait a minute. I loved my safta. I had a safta. I have a bubby and I had a safta. She took good care of me. I slept by her for half a year when I was in Panovich Yeshiva and my parents moved back to America. When I was in Chaya, Berlin, I called her up. I said, hey, safta, I need a shas because I wanted the fun that we used to have as Bachman. I don't know about you guys, but every time Taisus brought like a Gemara, so you get up for 15 minutes and you search over here. Where's the Gemara? Oh, it's not there. And then you're still using it. Okay. When we go in the thing, yeah, kids, it's a whole ASIC of 15, 20 minutes. You remember that? He's laughing. What are you laughing? MS. Yeah. So like Safta, I'm wasting too much time looking for Gemaras. So she didn't have any money. I didn't know what I was thinking. Why would I call by Safta? She's a Holocaust, not a Holocaust. She was for German and this. She went through she wasn't in the Holocaust, but she went through the Nazis the whole day. She sent me a shas within a week and a half. The kids love my Safta. So if my Safta needs a place to live, give her a house. The daughter could wait a little bit. She's young. She's in her 20s. So wait 10 years. Such a thing. So he's not such a bad guy, this guy. He's a normal guy. I want my daughter to get it after Safta dies. By the way, it's a nice riddle. Who's the Saba of the Safta? Who's the grandfather of Safta?
You mean the Safta?
You mean the husband?
Grandparent?
Yeah. Who's Safta's grandfather? No, somebody has to know.
Her father's father.
Good one, but what's his name? Good one. How do you know? Cham in this week's parasha. Cham's grandson was Safta. Now that you read, you lose time Mikri, you'll get it yourself.
Sponsors once you stop.
But you saw how I tripped you up. I started like this, and I said at the end I got to I said Saba Safta, this, that, messed you up a little bit. One of the best. That's how schwach my shir is. That was one of the best, Lauren. Yes. Get over here. Yeah, patch that. Okay. Not as good. The Chalm one, that was one of the best, according to some. You probably were the type of guy you would have left the share for the Chalm, no?
I guess you want to give him a patch because he had a picture of Aviezer today and share.
Oh, a video of Aviezer.
A video of Aviezer.
A guy that get a Sephardi that got a patch from Aviezer was like
Biggest kiss.
the biggest kiss you could get. That was the biggest chus. Harav, give me a smack. No, not you. You're not Roy.
Lauren.
We start a new thing here, Lauren. If you have, get over here. I don't give the patch in the face though. All right, Zok the Gemara. Oh, sponsor! I got to do the sponsors. Ooh, how did it get so late over here? The Belsky family members, Simcha Beryl, David Shon Ben Abraham Moshe, and by Kidnovations LLC, and my uncle Rabbi Chonim Pressman and Fishel Shvigger, Rus Bas Mordechai, Feiga Bas Golda, Rus Bas Mordechai. Thank you to Rabbi Stefansky. Should be schus. For you filled with Mazal Brach Hatzloch, Parnassa Refuah Refuah. Says the Gemara. Here we go. This Torah guy has a daughter, and the daughter is married. The daughter Nebuch. It's a terrible situation here. The father dies young. The granddaughter dies. Where does he die? Over here, there's already a Maisa happening. She sold the house. Kids, the daughter dies. Also, the Shchiva Safta, after the grandmother dies, also Baal, so the husband shows up, Kotova, he wants the house. Omer Avhuna, Liartia, Fila Liarti. When the father says, I'm giving it to my daughter, I'm giving it to the Yerush, I'm giving it to one step away, I'm giving it to two steps away, even to the daughter's husband. The father said, I'm giving it over to one generation away, not to two steps away, not to the husband who inherits a wife, who inherits the grandmother, or inherits the father. So they sent from Eretz Yisrael, very interesting. The halacha is like Ravanan, that the husband does not inherit it. Not because we have to be medayik in the Torah and the donator's words, and he meant it should go to one step away, not two steps away. No. A husband doesn't inherit, not because of that reason. What if this one? So you see, in this case, the daughter has a son. So what should be the halach in that case? According to Ravanan, since it's two steps away, it goes first to the daughter, that's Yerush number one, to the son, Yerush number two. Son and husband are equally distant from the Torah guy. And in this case, if you want to be medayik in the guy's words, it means not even to my grandson, only to my daughter. Velohi, says the Gemara, it's not true. This little grandson in the bottom, it would inherit in all conditions. And why not the husband? It's 100% owned by who? By the grandmother. And the daughter only is a potential inheritor. Potential inheritance does not go to the husband. If it was considered the daughter's, just the grandmother has schusish tamshus, she's able to use it a little bit, then the husband would inherit it. Why? Because it's not roy, it's a muhzuk. The wife has it, she died, she gives it over to her husband. But that's not what we're looking over here. Now we're learning that it's the grandmother's 100%. And the wife has 0 in it. 0, the husband doesn't inherit it. Because a husband does not inherit something potential. And therefore, according to that, alone, what?
Then if the grandmother would sell it, then the daughter wouldn't get it.
The daughter would not get it in this case, because 100% the grandmother's to sell, to do whatever she wants.
What's the lashon that makes it completely hers?
Completely the grandmother's?
Yeah.
That I'm giving it to you now. And after 120, it goes to the daughter. Yeah, according to Ravuna. According to the Gemara right now. Says the Gemara, according to the Tanakh, Ravuna argues on Ravanan. So what he holds, why could the husband get it? What he holds that a husband could inherit potential? Nobody holds like that. We don't pass it like that. Omer Rabbi Lazar, Dover, listen to this Mori Dikaloshon here. Says Rabbi Lazar, it started off with the Gdoilim, Vinistayim Biktanim. Who's he referring to? It started off with the Ravuna, Galadar, and it ended with me. Now think about it. Rabbi Lazar is not a Katakanya, he's not a no one. Rabbi Lazar was the Gadol Hadar of Eretz Yisrael. He's called Moradar de Yisrael, the Gadol in Eretz Yisrael. Yet Ravuna was considered the Galadar. So he calls his own self, yeah? It's like Rav Chaim Kanievsky. I'm a cotton compared to a Rosh Shiva, not Rosh Shiva, Galadar from America. Not the same thing because Rav Huna was the Goladar. So, but he's Ba'anava, he's saying, I'm a small person. I'm a small person. Because when you read it, you think, oh, Rebbe Lazar, he's a Talmud. I don't know what. He's a next generation. No. He's the Goladar in Eretz Yisrael, but he called himself a Katan compared to the Gdoilim of the generation. That what? Rabbi say, you hear this? When you give a gift and you say, I want this gift to work in a certain way, and I can do whatever I want. A person, there's what was the lashon that there's I can make any condition I want when it comes to mamonas. I'm giving it to the grandmother for 10 years. After that, it goes to the daughter. Oh, you hear Rabbi say, what's ma'achshav? Today, it's owned by who? The daughter. Me'achshav. Me'achshav is the daughters. The grandmother has the right to live there and enjoy herself at Me'eh Ve'esrim. But once she dies, it goes right back to where it was supposed to be. The full owner, not like the wrong Korban who said in the beginning of Shir, that it's the grandmother's 100%. He's saying fakert. It's the daughter's 100%. That makes a lot more sense. Not like what Rav Huna said. The Kadim Safter Zav, sorry, that the wrong Korban is right. The Kadim Safta V'Zavno Zvini. I don't like Rav Huna. I like the Eretz Yisrael people. That if the grandmother sold it, it's a good sale. Why? Because it's 100% the grandmothers. Not like you said that it's 100% the granddaughters. Bottom line, Omer Papa Hilchasa Ein Habal Noitel Beroike B'Muchsuk. Since the halacha is a husband doesn't take anything potential, therefore says Taisvis, let's say somebody owed $10 million to the wife and then she died, the husband gets zero of the $10 million. It's potential, and potential goes to the yarshim of the wife, not to the husband. If the $10 million was hers at home, the husband gets all $10 million. And a b'char does not get any potential, two parts in the potential, meaning something like this. Remember the shlufafei? Shlufafei v'havet hamre. If B'kitzer, these little buds blossomed and became the dates, that the husband does not get double. And over here, the Rashbam tells us a tremendous yisoid, which I didn't know yesterday. I discovered it here in this Rashbam. He says a gevaldik svara. What's the difference between a tree that widened or one of these little guys that also widened and became a date? What's the difference? I was struggling with it yesterday. Mardik. Because Shinu Hashem, this is considered a bud and this is considered a date. They're two different things. A tree that became 5 inches wider, it's the same tree. Nothing changed. Let me ask you a very simple question, but you have to think about it. If a husband does not inherit future, roli. If there's shlufafei, there's little buds, and the Yisoimim inherit the little buds, the b'char doesn't get two parts. What if a husband inherits the buds? Does he get the buds? Does he get the tamarim? A b'char doesn't get two parts of the shlufafei. Does a husband get two parts of the, or does he get the shlufafei? Does he get the thing? Avada, why? And it's roi. It's roi. A husband doesn't take roi. What's the difference? Okay, you're saying very good. You're saying very good, and I need to explain. The Rashbam goes into it, so we have to explain. When there's another individual involved there, and he wants it, so now there's a fight between the two yarshim. It's future. In the future, no. But over here, the husband inherits everything that the wife leaves over, and she left over these little buds. The little buds became good. So it's not roy. When it's only one person, we don't call that roy. And finally, as we start off the whole perek and everything, that a b'char doesn't take two parts of a loan. If there's a loan that's due to the father, $10 million, nebuch, the b'char doesn't get his two parts. Bein shigovu karka, bein shigovu mois. Like Rav Nachman, like the Gemara said all the way at the end, Rav Nachman and Rabbi don't hold of this whole karka mois business. We paskin like what? I can't get to it here. This guy, the center. This is what we're holding. B'char doesn't take two parts of the b'chara. Before you jump up, I know it's 3 words, but you have to see this chart. It's very important. Umilve she'imoi, and that's the question I asked all the way in the beginning that your son got. What if the Bechar owes money to his own father? Had he paid his father a minute before the father died, he would get 2 parts of what he paid back. But today, he didn't pay back. He owes $1 million to his father. Does he get 2 portions of that $1 million? What's the answer? Here's the answer. He gets half. What does that mean? Here it is. Yishmak. Here's a father. And one of the sons borrowed $400 from a father. And then the father goes to the cemetery for a little visit. So what we do is, first of all, we give each son $100. That they deserve. Now, typically speaking, that extra $100 would go to who? To Bechar. Today, that's not what's going to happen. $50 goes to the Bechar. And the other 50 we divide 3 ways, and each one gets a third of that. Why? What's going on here? So the Rabbi says beautifully, because the son wants to pay back his father really, really badly, because he wants his 2 portions. So the father becomes muhsik in the son's money. It's ki'ilu, he paid it back. He wants to give it back so badly because he wants his 2 things. So there's a little bit more of a chazaka over there. Rabbi, have a wonderful day.